right, let's hit the field.
It is Sunday, July 20th, and the Yankees were taking on the Braves in the final game of a 3-game set, and they were trying to win the series after an improbable comeback in Game 2. Next is the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll cover that series. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Hey, how about that? How about 2 out of 3? Yankees take this one 4-2, and they win 2 out of 3 on the road to begin the second half. And I got to be honest with you guys. After the loss on Friday night, where the Yankees basically played uninspired baseball, that got beat, I believe it was 7-3, I did not think we would be sitting here talking about winning 2 out of 3. And yesterday, when they were down 5-0 in Game 2, you start getting those calls. I had a ton of voicemails from folks who were like, man, let's just pack it in. Let's sell the team. Let's rebrand as the Highlanders again. Let's just forget everything. And they turned on a dime and played great baseball over the last game and a half. Today, very solid baseball early on. They manufactured some runs. Of course, they got a big home run from Aaron Judge and Marcus Stroman. Wow, what a tremendous game for him. Fantastic day, and the Yankees take 2 out of 3. Val in NY says, what a difference 2 days make. I tell you what, every day is just more of the same for Spencer Jones. We covered him last night, and I mentioned what he was doing was ridiculous. Well, it got even more ridiculous today. 2 more home runs. He is now hitting .418 with 10 home runs in 16 games at AAA. He is not knocking on the door anymore. He is bashing through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man. He is going to force you to either call him up or trade him because you can't keep hitting a home run a day and not be in the major leagues. And especially when he's a number 1 draft pick for your organization. And every ball that he hits is going like 430, 440 feet. Today he hit another one that went 445 feet. His exit velocities are over 109, 110 miles an hour, multiple times per game. So he has really turned it around. I am eating tons of crow. He's striking out less. The adjustments he's made have really gotten our attention. But let's first talk about this game.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
Because the Yankees picked up a very important win with Toronto winning again. And Toronto wins like every day, which is not good because the next team we play is Toronto. But the Yankees keeping pace here. They remain 3 games back. Both teams, I thought, played fairly well given the state of the bullpens today. Aaron Judge got things started off in the first inning with a long home run, opposite field. Solo Jack, number 36 on the year. And he is still second in the major leagues behind Cal Raleigh. You got to figure eventually he's going to pass Raleigh. I mean, catchers wear down. The record for a catcher, I believe, is 48. Maybe he hits 50. I find it hard to believe that if Aaron Judge stays healthy, he's not going to have between 55 and 65. Because he's done it before. And he's had some big Septembers before, too. He had 17 home runs in September his rookie year. As arms get tired, if they're pitching to him at all, he's going to put up some numbers. But Giancarlo Stanton had an excellent piece of hitting in the first. Opposite field single through the wide-open right side. He had a really good day, 3 hits. We'll talk more about him in a second. Jazz Chisholm laid down a beautiful bunt to get him into second base, and he made first base with an infield hit. Jazz really growing on me as a player. He also had a double in this game, just continuing to play well, bringing a ton of energy to the team. But that bunt, he was bunting for a hit. He wasn't trying to sacrifice there, so that was a really, really smart play. Stanton got into scoring position, and then he scored on a base hit by Paul Goldschmidt. So just really good baseball, manufacturing baseball. Stanton got another hit in his second at-bat. Laser beam off the left field wall. Looked like it was hit about 130. I looked it up. It went 115. And then in his next at-bat, he hit one over the shortstop that looked like it was 185 miles an hour off the bat. I mean, it had that perfect sound that you hear if you play MLB The Show, where it's just like a perfect, crisp contact. 112.8. So surprising. But as that launch angle starts to get a little bit higher and higher, he's going to go on one of these nuclear streaks. And we could sure use it against Toronto. He's a guy who steps up in the biggest moments. He always has with the Yankees. Going back to his first year with the Yankees when he hit that walk-off home run against the Mariners. I'm sure some of you remember that. Oh, Stanton earns his pinstripes was the call or something like that from Michael Kay. And then he was great in the postseason pretty much every time the Yankees have been in the postseason. Last year he wins ALCS MVP. This is a guy who's basically immune to pressure. And in a situation where there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Yankees over the next few days, having him in a hitter-friendly ballpark under controlled conditions at a time where he is swinging the bat well, and look, he is as prone to going to a sudden slump as anybody. But typically when he heats up like this, it builds together like a storm, right? You see the dark clouds moving in, and all of a sudden it's just lightning bolts for a week or so. We haven't seen that yet. We saw him begin to get started with that before the break, and then the break hit, and you thought maybe he'd cool off. But today, there's a reason that Joe Girardi was saying right there at the end of the game, I don't know if I'd pitch to him, right? But 3 for 5 on the day, now hitting .286 with an .863 OPS. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Giancarlo. We had a beautiful play by Yorbit Vivas today in the third inning. Profar was trying to bunt. He popped it up, and Vivas made a diving play. Vivas also got hit by a pitch that drove a run. So all is forgiven after his base running blunder the other night, sacrificing his body for the team today. Anthony Volpe ripped a line drive base hit today. Didn't score, but maybe a sign that he's continuing to swing the bat a little bit better after 2 home runs yesterday. Base hit today. Still just a .216 average with a .686 OPS on the year. Yankees, look, they threatened a few times. It didn't come through, but they managed to get it done. Stroman, he went 6 brilliant innings. We'll talk more about him. The bullpen was what I was worried about, but we had a scoreless inning from Hamilton. We had a scoreless inning from Tim Hill, and then Devin Williams came in and served up a 456-foot home run to Ronald Acuna, but he was able to work out of the inning without any further damage, and the Yankees take 2 out of 3.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Jesse Day says signature moment was the call from Michael Kay on Giancarlo Stanton. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. I remember that he hit it towards like the loading dock in left field. Stanton, he's always been fun to watch when he's nuclear. When he's struggling, though, it's about as painful to watch as you can imagine, because he'll flail at pitches a 1.5 feet outside, and then if he gets on, he can't run. But when he's swinging the bat well, and he has been recently, he does a lot for this lineup. We got a chat here from Brian Bashman, says, most runs the Yankees have gotten off a guy with a mullet since the 80s. All right, let's go to the belt winner. I don't think there is much discussion today. Marcus Stroman. A true Stro show this afternoon, and his first belt of the year. And we had a call here that wanted to play here for you.
Hey, Derek, it's Rick in South Carolina. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but if the Yanks hold this lead, Stroman's got to get the belt today.
100%. So let's talk about him, because he really was the story for the day. He showed up when the Yankees needed him most. Day game, rubber match, day game after night game. Everybody's tired. The bullpen is gassed. And the Braves offense has potential to make it ugly in a hurry if you don't have it, right? If he gets knocked out in the second inning, not only does that kill you for this series, but it might kill you for the next series. But now we were able to get through the game without completely destroying the bullpen. He went 95 pitches, 62 for strikes. ERA is still inflated at 5.64, but he's been better since he's come back. And we got a call about that from MB.
Hey, Derek, Mary Beth here. And you know what? Since Stroman has come back, before his injury, I didn't want to see him. I wanted him off. But since he's come back, he has done a more than adequate job. So
100%. He's been keeping you in the game, and today he manned up and just delivered an awesome performance. He exited with a 3-run lead. He was mixing and matching. He was working around the edges. He was keeping the bats guessing. he doesn't need to light up the radar gun. He's a 90-mile-an-hour guy. He relies on movement, on location, and I thought he delivered on both of those today. Also worth noting, and they pointed it out on the broadcast, seemed to be on the same page with Ben Rice. So maybe that's a way to keep Ben Rice in the lineup. Maybe you run him back out there again next time that Stroman's on the mound. But this was a game that, you needed him to step up, and he did. And that's what veteran pitchers do. So really, really nice performance from Marcus Stroman. All right, so let's zoom out and talk about this series. So obviously the 7-3 loss on Friday night was uninspiring. A highlight of the night was Vivas trying to run on Ronald Acuna Jr., who made one of the best throws that you'll ever see, but he probably should have slid. Yesterday was the comeback. I mean, down 5-0 and then down 7-2, but they refused to roll over and die. 2 home runs from Anthony Volpe, career best 4 runs driven in. Trent Grisham had 5 runs driven in, including the grand slam, and then he does not start today, doesn't even get an at-bat, but he did come in to play defense. But look, they gave the Yankees the win yesterday. Devin Williams allowed a run yesterday. He allowed another run today. So he has been anything but lights out, but the Yankees were able to sustain the damage, and they won 12-9, and the offense looked really good. Stanton, again, hitting the ball hard in all 3 games, looking as comfortable at the plate as we've seen him since the postseason. And today, really good baseball from the Yankees early on, manufacturing runs, and then Marcus Stroman with a fantastic performance to give the Yankees 2 out of 3. Not a series that I expected the Yankees to win, especially after Game 1. And given the pitching matchups, I thought the Yankees were kind of punting to try and save up for the Blue Jays series. But the fact they were able to win 2 out of 3 and that the bats are heating up as you're heading into Toronto, very good signs. All right, so this next series is no joke, proverbial biggest series of the year so far, and the series will only get bigger and bigger from here on out. We got 63 games left this year. Blue Jays are 3 games up. They just swept the Yankees in Toronto a few weeks ago, and that simply cannot be allowed to happen again. In fact, you got to win this series. This is a must-win series, right? They just swept the Giants to begin the second half, so they're still hot. They're playing like a team that really wants it. They've been on the fringes for years. They've got some legitimate Yankee killers. George Springer, probably the biggest contributor in the previous series. Vladdy, he leads their team in WAR, and he's always dangerous. They're well-rounded. They're energetic. They hustle, and they're not going to pitch to Judge. They are not going to pitch to Aaron Judge at all. They're going to put up – that's how they won last time. You got to game plan for that, right? You got to give him protection, hit the hottest hitters behind him, right? We're going to see Carlos Rodon in Game 1. Cam Schlittler is going to pitch in Game 2. Blue Jays have not seen him, obviously, and when a guy throws 100, I'd say that's advantage Yankees early on. If he's throwing strikes, it's going to take them at least a trip through the order to figure out what he's got. You wonder how he's going to throw the ball given the fact that he had an MRI on his arm a few days ago. We're going to face Max Scherzer in this series. We're going to throw Max Fried, and even with the blister, I'll take our Max in that. Meredith Marakovits said that he's doing better. He's throwing without incident, so hopefully it's calloused up. And maybe the conditions in the dome, being relatively controlled, maybe you don't work up too much of a sweat. I mean, I'm sure he's going to sweat. He's out there pitching in a major league game, but it's not like pitching in 100-degree weather. You're not going to sweat as much, which softens up your skin. So, maybe in a dome, that's advantageous for him to keep that blister under control. We need him to be basically efficient and get deep into the game. We need all these guys to go deep into the game. Rodon gave us 8 innings not too long ago. Would love to have that again tomorrow, but, hey, Yankees got to win this series one way or another, no matter who's pitching and how deep they go. We got some voicemails here.
Reaction.
First one is about Girardi.
Hey, totally unrelated to the game, but I want to say I really like Joe Girardi in the booth. He's been doing great. He's a great announcer.
I love Girardi. To me, he's always a step ahead of the action. I've seen him predict home runs and stuff because he's like, oh, this guy, he attacks the ball here. This is where the pitcher's throwing it. He just seems to be really, really into the game. And I wonder if he brings the binder with him into the booth, right? Remember the binder when he was the Yankees manager? I think he's a fantastic addition to the booth. I wish he was still in the dugout, but it is what it is. Here's an interesting idea. Let me just play this one.
Hey Derek, I was just watching a YouTube video and I got a weird idea that might be horrible, and that's why I'm not the GM of the Yankees. But do you think that the Yankees could trade for Justin Verlander and try and use him in like a bullpen role? Maybe Blake can tinker with his pitch mix, and I mean his velocity isn't down that much. It's just his vertical break. And I think just like even if he's not really like the best arm out of the pen, can he really be much worse? And then on top of that, he brings that veteran leadership, that postseason experience, that clubhouse guy that the Yankees have been lacking ever since Gardner left. So I don't know. Let me know what you think.
Well, I'm trying to share my screen, but there we go. Justin Verlander. Okay. 16 games started this year, has not made a relief appearance, 4.99 ERA. To me, I see the 1.513 whip, and I see less than a strikeout per inning. Guys in his 40s, I mean, you just have to think that he might be cooked. Honestly, I think he might be cooked. I appreciate the creativity, right? But I don't think that's a real option. The Yankees are going to have to get it done with what they have and by trading for some competent relief pitching. I don't know who that is, but I think moves are coming. I would love it if they would make a move here tonight, get some reinforcements before this Toronto series. Quick word from our sponsor, then back with some final comments.
Ah, summer. We almost forgot what it feels like to play just because. But even summer needs backup. A little partner in the good kind of chaos. Someone to bring the kung fu kicks. Hiya! To train some dragons. Fly, young dragon rider, fly. The kind of fun that keeps the days going. That turns living rooms into playgrounds. And reminds us what our bodies and our hearts were made for. Play that moves you.
All right, Nex Playground. 30-second ad, so not as much of a break as I'm used to when we run these ads. But Mike D says, Girardi, easily the best announcer. Don't think he has interest in doing a full-time announcing gig. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work to travel with the team. If you're going to do that, you might as well be a manager, I would love to see him get back into managing. I always felt like he was a good manager. He obviously won Manager of the Year with the Marlins, I believe. He had some down years, too. He comes across as strict and regimented, which is not what front offices are necessarily looking for in today's game. Everybody's got to be coddled. Everybody's got to be your best friend. I tell you what, there are times when this team could use a little bit of discipline. And, the fact that they got rid of him for being too strict on Gary Sanchez and then watching Gary Sanchez fall apart should have been a wake-up call that, maybe not everybody needs to be handled with kid gloves, right? I mean, some people just need a little bit extra motivation, need to have a fire lit under their ass a little bit. We got some comments here. Lori C. wants no part of David Robertson. I want to see what he looks like. I mean, he was good last year. He always has swing and miss stuff. He's pitched in the playoffs. If he could just get us through, if he could just get us through the half of the season, I think we'll be all right. So, I mean, I don't know what he's got left in the tank. Only the scouts can tell you that. The hitters will tell you. But I'm not opposed to signing David Robertson. I just realized that I've got Bravs instead of Braves in my description. I'm going to fix that real quick. Thank you to the user who shouted that out. It happens, live show. Brian Bashman says Sanchez and Glaber were wusses. And Glaber's having a good year with the Tigers. Made the All-Star team. VFS 148 says March and slumping. Does he go back down for Jones? No, I mean, like you said, it's just a slump. He's chasing too many of those breaking balls down and in. Maybe the break cooled him off. He was hitting better before the break. But, no, you don't send him down for a little slump. That's just not how the Yankees do business. You got to keep running him out there and let him develop. You work through slumps. That's how you get better. But David Fox says, Cashman always late to the party. We passed on Verlander twice and should have had the ring and not Houston, but Cashman whiffed. So it makes sense to go get him now because that's part of his game. Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it. And then Brian Bashman says, don't we have enough changeup guys already? Well, the changeup is Matt Blake's specialty. He's great at developing that changeup, at getting guys who have a decent changeup and turning it into an elite changeup. We saw that with Corey Kluber. We've seen it with a number of guys. So hey, I got no problem with bringing in guys who are change-up pitchers. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, good win for the Yankees. I'm going to do one of those backyard recording videos tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit about the Spencer Jones dilemma. So maybe call in, get your voicemails in. We'll take some comments, things like that, and I'll put that up at some point before the game tomorrow. And then post-game, obviously, after the Jays game tomorrow night, 3 in a row, and then they're off Thursday. We'll probably do another voicemail show on Thursday, and then the Yankees are back in the Bronx to take on the Phillies. So we'll see you throughout the week. Thanks for watching. One more time.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
And once again, check out NYYDesigns.shop. It's the official channel merch. Here we got all sorts of fun stuff. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, all that stuff. It helps out the channel, support the show. We'll see you next time. If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. You can also be a part of the show by calling in at 718-899-1068. Also, part of the way that we maintain and fund all of this is through NYYDesigns.shop. Check it out now. Get all sorts of fun Yankees merch, hats, hoodies, zip-ups, beanies, mugs, you name it. We've got it. Check it out, NYYDesigns.shop. And check out Pinstripe Territory on all your favorite podcast platforms. We are the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We're here for post-game shows after every single game, and we're here before a lot of games to talk about the game, preview the lineup, the pitching matchups, and things like that. And we're here all off-season to talk about the latest in Yankees rumors, news, etc. Join our community. We'll see you next time.